But let's go over to Australia now. That's where we find Lovemore Ndou. I've received his book. Thank you very much. And I'm going to go through it as soon as I can. The man is hard at work. He doesn't rest. Not only does he have a law firm, but he's put out a book, Tough Love, How a Limpopo Homeboy Became a World Champ 10 Lawyer. Lovemore, good evening from us, sir. Thank you very much for being able to speak to us again here in South Africa.
Good evening, my brother. Hoe gaan dit met jou?
Nee, ek is goed en jou en Jay?
Nee, ek is baie goed, dankie.
Hey, that's it, Lovemore. I'm glad you still remember home. It sounds like you are homesick. But Lovemore, before we talk about what you're up to now, we've just speaking about the Olympic Games. Now, we've spoken to Jeffrey Matebula from Limpopo, your province. We've spoken to Hawk Makepula. They're so disappointed that we don't have boxers at the Olympic Games for the second successive games. From where you are sitting, I mean, how do you feel about that?
Look, it is disappointing. Personally, I think there's nothing more important, than representing your country, in the Olympics. I think it's more important than winning a world title. I actually remember reading about, about a while ago, I read about why, South African boxers were not going to the Olympics. And I think one of the reasons that was given was, I think it had something to do with the resignation of the entire executive,
yes,
of the South African National Amateur Boxing, Sanabo. But personally, I think it has more to do, with funding. I think, and it's disappointing. I mean, if you look at it, you look at, poor countries, like Morocco and Zimbabwe, they're able to take their fighters, to the Olympics. And it's more disappointing when you look at the history of it. Many South Africans, including myself, we lost the opportunity, to compete in the Olympics, due to apartheid. If you recall, the country was banned from, competing in the Olympics in 1960, and he was only readmitted, to the Olympics in 1992. So you would think, the government, would inject more money, into the sport, so we can, showcase our talent, and we do have a lot of talent in South Africa, and I think the only problem we lack in South Africa, it's a lack of opportunity, a lack of equal opportunity. I always say, Africans are hard-working people, and if given, the right opportunity, they'll always excel.
Yeah. Sure, that's an interesting angle that you've come from, Lovemore, especially considering that now we are free. Now we can actually compete in international sport, but this is the time where we are letting ourselves down. But let's not depress ourselves any further. I understand that you've got an important announcement that you're making in Australia tomorrow. Are you able to give us an idea?
Yes. Look, it's got to do more with the current situation in South Africa. The riots and looting that's been happening. It's disheartening, frustrating, and dispiriting. It is the last thing the country needs, at a time like this, when its economy needs revival during the COVID-19 pandemic. And, and I'm sure, reaching out to people there, and asking, people to assist because, it's going to take years, to rebuild and restore what has been destroyed. So what I'm doing, as you're aware, as you already mentioned, I recently, released an autobiography called Tough Love. So what I've done is, I've had some discussions with my publisher. So we're going to be donating a percentage, of proceeds towards the revival of the South African economy.
Wow.
The money will go towards, assisting all the business people who lost their businesses during the looting. And in return, this will allow, those who lost their jobs, to regain them. But in addition to that, I'm making a comeback, to boxing.
You're coming back, Lovemore?
I'm coming back.
I'm
gonna be participating in a number of boxing exhibitions, or even real fights, to raise money towards this good cause. I already have a promoter in Australia who's willing to make this happen. And look, I'm prepared to put my health at risk, to save my country or birth. I've already spoken to, Anthony Mundine. He's the former 3 times world champion.
Yes.
So, he's interested. So, we'll be having our first exhibition sometimes around October, November in Australia. And then the next one will be with Jeff Horn.
Oh, yes.
I'm sure you all remember Jeff Horn.
Yes, and Pacquiao.
Yeah, the young man that beat Pacquiao.
Yes.
But, it gets better. My team, will be reaching out, to Mayweather as well. We're aiming at having an exhibition with Mayweather as well in the future. We all know Mayweather is all about money, and this will generate a lot of money that could assist, a lot of South Africans, and some of you will know, and when you read my book, you read about it. I sparred with Floyd in the past, when he was preparing for his fight against Ricky Hatton. So surely he knows, that I'm a better opponent, than Conor McGregor or the YouTuber he fought on the last occasion.
Or Jake Paul, then all those guys.
And to be honest with you, based on his last performance, I might even beat him.
It was only Logan Paul. And where do you plan for this fight to take place, Lovemore?
The first one will be happening here in Sydney. And then we'll probably have the second one with Jeff Warren in Queensland. And then, obviously, I'll probably have to travel to America if Mayweather agrees, to fight me. But the thing is, you all recall, Mayweather came to South Africa, some years ago, and he was treated, like royalty.
Yes.
So it's time for him, to return the favor. And if you look at it, South Africans, we've always supported, America throughout its struggles. If you look, for example, the Black Lives Movement, following the death of George Floyd, we stood together with our American brothers and sisters, so we are now appealing, for help in return. So, personally, the way I put it, I think this is an opportunity for Floyd, to do good, by his brothers and sisters in Africa.
Yeah.
He talks about, the greatest of all time, so it's time to prove it, like Ali did. Ali came, Ali proved it, by fighting Zaire. But I'm not asking Floyd to come fight me, in South Africa.
You'll go to him.
We can do it anywhere. Yeah, we can do it anywhere in the world. All I'm asking, I'm asking him to give his money. I'm not asking him to give his money to South Africa. All I'm asking is for him to fight, for a good cause. And he can keep, every dollar he makes, and I'll donate every cent I make, towards rebuilding South Africa.
It sounds like you were touched, Lovemore, all the way in Australia, and you are seeing these visuals of what's happening in South Africa over the past few weeks. It really moved you. It's from what you're saying.
Look, I'm always in touch, with South Africa. I know exactly what's going on, and like I already said, it's disappointing what's happening, but if you look at it, this whole thing, it's been a long time coming. Look, I do not condone violence and the looting, but having grown up in South Africa, I can clearly understand, why people reacted the way they did. It had nothing to do, with the Free Zuma campaign. It all comes down to frustration. People are frustrated with a government that has failed them for over 26 years. The best way to put it, it's clear that, the African National Congress no longer holds the key, to South Africa's future. The party is divided, and as, Abraham Lincoln, once put it, a house divided cannot stand. What is currently happening in South Africa, it's been, inevitable, since Nelson Mandela stepped down from office. And believe me, this is what happens when a country is run by unqualified people. The country is slowly descending into anarchy. What South Africa needs is a new party. A party that will stand for the people, a party that will listen to the people, and and stop making everything about race. A party that will provide people with equal opportunities. Like I said earlier on, history shows that African people are hardworking people, and when provided with equal opportunities, they excel.
That's all people are asking for.
They don't need free handouts.
Yes.
They don't need free handouts.
We're just running out of time, Lovemore, but I just want to touch on your book. I'm going to read it and then we'll invite you back. But where is it available at the moment? I know, is it online at the moment?
The book is going into all the bookshops in South Africa.
Oh, okay.
So it's just been released this week. So if you go to your nearest bookshop, you'll be able to get a copy. It's a very inspiring book, very motivational. The reason I wrote the book, was, because I wanted to inspire other people and, make them realize, that, nothing is impossible. Like I said, we all have dreams, but it's only those who work towards their dreams that make their dreams come true, make their dreams become a reality. And if you look at my lifestyle, that's exactly, what happened. I worked hard. But comes back to what I said again earlier on, equal opportunity. I had to travel, abroad to get an opportunity to prove myself.
Sure. Tough love is what it's called. How a Limpopo homeboy became a world champion turned lawyer. And I see one of the reviews has given it 5 out of 5 already online, Lovemore. So it must really be a good book. Give us 2 or 3 weeks. We're going to read it and we'll invite you back. But I agree with you. We need equal opportunities in this country and we need to create a better life for all. Oh, he's gone. Okay. But Lovemore, cheers from us. Thank you for giving us your time. We're going to invite you again to talk about the book when we've read it.
Thanks. It's always a pleasure talking to you.
Thanks. What time is it there in Australia?
It's 4 a.m. You see how much I love talking to you guys. I'm still up.
I was about to say, you're a good man, Lovemore. And people are saying, Lovemore, you must eventually come back and be involved here, either in government or in boxing South Africa. We need you in South Africa. That is one of the tweets here from Rilebu on social media. So keep that in mind, Lovemore.
Coming back home. Thank you.
Thank you. Man's been in Australia for over 2 decades now. Successful lawyer, former world champion, well-educated. Also, he was telling us he's probably the most educated boxing champion in the world, Lovemore Ndou. And now he wants to do something to give back to the country. So we hope his plans succeed and we wish him all the best. Thank you to Jeffrey Matebula. Thank you to the Hawk, Makebula, also for speaking to us tonight. We have to go. It's time for news and Mutupi is waiting for us.